So today we will be lowering my 2014 Tesla Model S. This has the 85 kilowatt battery pack. This is the current ride height with the stock springs. We're going to be using the T-Sportline lowering springs, so it should bring it down about an inch. Now that we have the car in the garage, first thing we're going to do is lift it up in the air and remove the wheels. Alright, and for this part we've got the little hucky pucks under the on the jacks themselves. So we'll align that. And now that we have the car in the air, we can remove the tires. Let's start with this side, and we'll remove 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty straightforward. Just pull on them and they should just come out. There's these 2 others on this side, and then we've got the 10 millimeter, kind of like a plastic bolt. One back here, watch your eyes. Another one back here. There we go. Okay. So that's basically this side. So on this rear side, we're going to have these 2 tabs on the back side. We'll go ahead and pop those out. 10 millimeter bolt. And don't worry about these 2, or there's actually 3 here. We're going to remove the tabs at the bottom, and then the 2 bolts that hold the diffuser with the liner. And there's another bolt that holds it together, so you don't have to worry about that diffuser just kind of hanging there. And then you'll kind of pop the front side, loosen it up, and then kind of scoot it up. And you'll just kind of wiggle it out of place. Okay, and just like that, ta-da! We've gotten the liner off, so that's going to be required. As we can see inside of the wheel well, here we have access to the rear bolts. If you have the spring compressors, use them. It's going to come in real handy. What you're going to do is you're going to remove the suspension bolt there, and then you're going to remove this upper control arm bolt right there. That is a 18 millimeter socket there that you're going to need. You're going to remove the connector on the rear parking brake caliper. You're going to remove this bolt, and that's an 18 millimeter bolt, and that's going to allow us to drop this basically the suspension out of the way. So we'll go through the steps here. Gonna get in there and loosen these things up. Not a lot of room to work with, but all right, camera, we're gonna have to move you out of the way. Okay, there we go. So here we have the rear strut assembly, spring and damper, and the top, actually a 13. Such a weird, yeah, it's a 13 millimeter bolt up top. So once you're at this position, it's pretty straightforward. You take this plate off, and inside you'll see a single nut that holds it to the damper's arm, or to the damper's rod. You need some thin wall sockets, because all my impact tools won't reach in there. So luckily I've got a thin wall here. Just like that. That nut is out. And that allows you to remove this cover, and just like that, spring comes off. And that is the removal of the spring. And so now we're gonna undo the spring compressors. Okay, so we take a look at them side by side. You see that there's not, I mean, you see the spring here is a little more compressed, probably for a different spring rate, but overall the height is the same. So really curious how, you know, the ride's going to be. Okay, so we're going to do the assembly. I went ahead and just re-lubricated everything. I have one of those silicone sprays, so just kind of applied it liberally in here and cleaned it off, so that at least looks a little newer. Okay, now we're gonna do the top bolt. Now, one of the things that we want to look at is the position up there and kind of align this. Well, once you put the plate on, I'm pretty sure it's in that direction. Yes. So we have, yep, the 2 bolts over here, 2 bolt holes over here, and then the one. So this is about how we want it to go in. The one thing to note is once putting it back in, you probably did unseat the drive shaft. So when you put it up, like right now, I'm feeling resistance. So you're just gonna have to. There it goes. I've set it back in, and now I've got the flexibility back in, and I can reconnect everything where it belongs. Okay, so now we're going to reinstall this. Now you've replaced the spring. This one already has been replaced. I am just trying to do it the right way. Keep the spring compressed. That'll make your life a little easier. I'm not going to do anything else for reinstalling it in this procedure besides just try to, you know, position it in here. Keep your bolts, or keep kind of an eye of which way this needs to go. So if we look down there, we've got 2 bolts that direction and this in that direction. Okay, so this would be good enough right here. So we'll go ahead and start repositioning it in here. Slide it in. Let's see. How far back can we go? Let's get this out of the way a little. Okay. That's not gonna work. Okay. Let's see. All right, we've got it in the wheel well. That's a good sign. All right. Didn't really need to do too much there. All right, so it seems that we've got it in here. We're trying to align the plates in there. Reach in here. Can I reach in there? Great question. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just feeling inside of the wheel well, trying to get one screw in there. And we have one in. We've got 2 in. I don't like the way this one went in. It doesn't feel right, so I'm gonna back it out and put it back in. Ready? That feels a lot better. In this process here, I'm able to do this whole thing solo. And that's really good. Because a lot of the times, if you're a car person, you're doing things by yourself. You got no friends or something. Honestly, I prefer it this way. Okay. You see, and with the springs compressed, I'm able to move them out of the way and kind of get a better position on these springs here. Especially with a lot of these bolts, you want to try to do hand tightening as much as possible, so you make sure you're not snagging anything you don't, or threading it wrong, or you can feel any resistance that just doesn't feel right, and you can kind of correct the issue. Last one right here. Yeah, that feels right. Nice and smooth. Here we go. Everything feels good. Alright. You see, now you can move everything just like you needed. Realign everything. And we'll torque everything down once we get everything kind of lined up. So, kind of like I mentioned, this is gonna be unset. It's probably best to put this bolt in first. I think that's what I want to do. Okay. It's just with that little compression makes it a little easier when everything's not set in yet. And I think I've got enough leverage there. Okay. Let's see if I can do it this way right now. I think I've got everything lined up. All right. So, looks like I am able to get it in that way. I'll try to see if I can get a little more. There you go. That looks right. Like I mentioned, you're gonna, there you go. And you'll see this assembly, because of this damper here, is pushing down, and it's making it very difficult for me to like move up. So this is where this comes in handy. Toe link. This one is also under some tension here, so you're just going to have to play with it until you feel it kind of setting in. And hopefully if you've got a little bit of muscle, it's not too difficult. Let's see. Okay, so I'm thinking here. And see if we can get some leverage. All right, there you go. That is what you needed. That one has a lot less give, so let's see if this one destroys me here. You want to do the toe link first. And this one. And you're right at it, so you're just going to have to play with it just a little bit. There it goes. Okay. Just a little of moving it, and you get it in there. screw this in. We'll connect the connector back in. It's a little red tab. You'll have to find it because you locked it somewhere. Okay, there we go. You put the tab back in there, and you put the brake, this little brake sensor line back in there. And you've got one 18mm bolt on the back side. And we'll go ahead and torque everything down. There you go. The front is a lot easier than the rear, so that's good. You don't even have to do the spring compressions because you have no room to do it anyways. But for the front, it's actually fairly straightforward. Okay, so first we're going to remove the top bolts securing the strut. With this is a 13mm bolt. Next we'll remove the speed sensor assembly, or just the line really. So that's just a little rubber piece, and then this is just a small tab. There you go. And then lastly, it has a T30 Torx bit right down over here. Let's see if we can see that together. Right there. You saw what I was doing. Now let me go do what I need to do. And then we'll just go ahead and move this out of the way. I usually just kind of put the bolts back in the position that I took them out. That way I don't forget them. And next we'll remove the this metal tab holding the brake line assembly. Let's see if I can do it with you in the way. Just nice and there's little tabs right at the edge, and you just kind of mess with that. All right, easy. And now that that's out of the way, next will be the knuckle assembly. So we're gonna undo this retaining bolt. It's a 15mm, and then it's got a T50 Torx bit on this side. So let's go ahead and see if we can loosen it up first. There you go. And now we're going to remove the bolt that holds the strut into this lower control arm. And that is a 21mm. Put that back. All right, and then you just, this one at the bottom, if they're seized, that's going to be a pain in the ass. But once it's off, you'll just remove the strut. So, and there you go. Alright, forgot to record this part, but pretty straightforward. Just slide it the way you took it off. Hook up the speed sensor line and the brake hose in here. You know, just secure this as you're putting it on. And then the bolts at the bottom, you just secure those again. And then the top, just reverse what you did. Here's the lowering springs completely installed. It's been a couple of days since I've let the suspension settle, so this would be the final result of lowering the Tesla with the T-Sportline lowering springs.